Hey guys, it's Kittyhouseknife. I'm back for part 2 of my 30 Before 30 series. I'm going to be going over number 7 through 10, so if you didn't check out my last video on 1 through 6, go check that out now. This is going to be a weekly series of things that I've learned by the time I'm 30. Some of my topics will be maybe only one per video if it's a bigger topic. Today we're going to do 7 through 10. And it's basically based on the feedback that you guys gave me from my last video. So thank you so much for your interest in it and for commenting things that you wanted to hear about. And hopefully today I can go over some things that you wanted to know about, things that I've learned, up to this point. So let's go. So number 7 is going to be your 20s is a blur. I don't even know how I got here, how I got to be 29, turning 30 this year. I feel like in your 20s, you spend so much time trying to learn who you are as a person, and figure yourself out and make the right life choices and solidify your career and your relationships, and your family. And you devote so much time to just planning your life and figuring those things out that by the time that you get here, you're like, where did my entire 20s go? I for sure have changed so much since I was 21, and I am so excited to be turning 30. I know people are like, oh, 30 is such a big number, I'm afraid of it, but to be honest with you, like, I'm at a stable point in my life now, financially, emotionally. I'm trying to really solidify who I am, and I found that in my mid-20s, I was really lost. I mean, I went through a big depression of I don't know who I am, I don't have the same friends I have anymore, everybody's doing something different, there's new members of my family that I haven't even met yet, and my life hasn't gone where I planned. I mean, when you're maybe 10 years old, you think that you have a plan for what you're going to do with your life, and then things just don't go that way. It gets very blurry and messy, and I've noticed that a lot of people feel lost for most of their 20s. Which is why I'm so excited to be turning 30. I'm so excited to, now that I have a really good grasp of who I am, I'm excited to explore this and live in it for a while. So, yeah, that's number 7 is, it's gonna be a blurry ride. So number 8 is going to be that by this point, you're pretty much set in your ways. You've kind of discovered who you are, the habits that you do. So if you're a procrastinator, and you're still procrastinating, it's not going to change by this point. I mean, you just have to really optimize who you are, embrace yourself, embrace your quirks and things that you think are faults about you. You'll probably learn by this point too that everybody has flaws, and people that are much older than you still don't have everything figured out, so there's no way that you are going to have things figured out. So you really need to take in who you are as a person and try to just make the best of it. So if you're a procrastinator, figure out, a way to plan what you're doing in those moments. It's like a day before what you have to do, and you're like, okay, I waited until the last minute. How am I going to go forward? I mean, I know personally, I'm a procrastinator. I've always been a procrastinator. I think that I do my best work under pressure. I think a lot of people do. So don't necessarily take it as a bad thing. Don't take your flaws as something that you need to change or you need to fix. I think if anything, you just really need to, embrace who you are and just find the best way to deal with habits that you've formed now. So number 9, somebody had asked, how do I start living my life and stop being so indecisive? There's only one answer to this, and you're never gonna do it unless you believe you can do it, but you're already living your life. So how do I start living my life? You just do. You just have to start living it. You have to start making decisions. It kind of goes back to the first part of my series where you're never going to be ready. You're going to make so many mistakes. I mean, I've quit jobs, I've moved, I've made decisions that I'm not entirely sure of, and they're not always going to be the right ones, and that's okay, because, I mean, there's really no right or wrong way to live life, unless, you do illegal things and murder people and things like that. But I mean, there's no right or wrong way to live life. As long as you're a good person to other people and you're good to yourself, I mean, there's no roadmap for how to, what's right and wrong and how to live your life. So, how do you become more decisive and how do you start living your life? You're already in it. You're already living your life. I mean, there are people that die in their 20s and people that, they don't make it, to where you've made it. So just enjoy every day that you have. You're already living your life. You're already in it. Start living. So number 10 kind of goes back to number 7, but number 10 is definitely stop hating yourself. Your internal monologue dictates so much with how you view yourself. And I know personally, like, I have this really negative internal monologue that even just shooting this video, I'm like, oh, your face is ugly, your hair is ugly, people are gonna hate you, people are gonna know who you truly are, and they're gonna see right through all this bullshit facade. But I mean, that's how I talk to myself in my head, and I really wish I had a better internal monologue where I wasn't so hard on myself. So I've really been actively trying to be more positive in my own head. You do spend a lot of your time in your life with yourself. Weird to say, right? All of your friends, all of your family, nobody spends more time with you than you spend with yourself. So stop being so mean to yourself. You're going to be talking to yourself constantly throughout the day and at night when you're trying to sleep, thinking about things that you did wrong, regrets that you have. And you just really need to embrace who you are as a person and just stop hating yourself and stop thinking that you're the worst person. And things that you've done are just so wrong, because like I said, there's no right or wrong way to live life, and everybody makes mistakes. Everybody goes through these internal monologues where they just hate who they are, and they question everything. And, I found that it does me no good to be like this. And it's weird to say though, but when I'm running or when I'm exercising or I'm getting stuff done, I found that I'm more positive to myself. I found that I'm like, yeah, you're a bad bitch. Look at you running a mile. Look at you doing this. Look at you accomplishing this. So if you can't actively try to change, what you're saying to yourself in your own head, go for a run, go for a walk, and see how your mindset starts changing. The more that you do that you didn't think that, you could do. I mean, if you could only walk 1 mile a night and suddenly you're walking 2 and then you walk 5, I mean, see how you view yourself changes just by doing little things like that. So yeah, number 10, stop hating yourself. Okay guys, that is part 2 completed. I probably reshot this like 10 times because I don't know why it was harder this time. I kept messing up, and I feel like you guys need to know that just because you're going to be seeing a well edited, cropped out video, it doesn't mean that I didn't go through a lot of struggles trying to even just make this. It's actually surprising that the first part of this series was easier to make than this one. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you for part 3. If you have anything you want me to talk about, leave your comments in the section below. Like this video, and please share it if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye! I'm so fucking weird.